I now give the floor to the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the government of the Syrian Arab Republic has underlined time and again that it is the main responsible of all matters related to the Syrian people. We have constantly expressed over the past years our keenness to ensure that humanitarian assistance reaches all Syrians all over the country without discrimination or exclusion. The government of my country, in the hardest times, succeeded in facilitating many of the UN convoys and the ICRC's convoys, as well as the partners in the humanitarian work to different parts of Syria. This refutes any allegations propagated by some rival countries and their proxies to justify the extension of the so-called cross-border mechanism, despite the fact that it is a temporary, exceptional measure imposed by circumstances that no longer exist. Mr. President, the delegation of the Syrian Arab Republic has explained in its statement before this Council 2 days ago all Syrian concerns in details on the implementation of humanitarian operations in Syria. We expressed our readiness to undertake serious work with all parties to ensure that all needs are met. What has been achieved today could have been achieved days ago. However, the political selfishness of the P3 Western countries in this Council drove them to abuse the Council yet again. They have used it to garner public opinion by propagating for a disinformation and a media campaign that aims at negatively affecting the governments of Syria and Russia. They are trying to propagate a false impression on their humanitarian anxiousness at a time when they are the ones behind this unethical, inhumane, and illegitimate siege imposed on the Syrian people, which leads to their humanitarian suffering and obstructs the implementation of humanitarian operations. Mr. President, all what my delegation has requested in cooperation with friendly delegations in the Security Council is to introduce enhancements in the text of the draft resolution that would ensure the adequate response to the humanitarian needs in a balanced, transparent, and measurable manner to enhance the humanitarian situation of the Syrian people and their livelihood, as well as to alleviate their suffering, including through promoting the early recovery projects, especially in the critical sector of electricity, which has been included in the text of the resolution that was adopted by the Council. My delegation urges the Secretariat of the United Nations to include in the Secretary General's report requested by that resolution to include a meticulous assessment of the humanitarian needs in Syria, quantitatively and qualitatively, as well as the geographical distribution of those needs, in addition to the impact of the unilateral coercive measures imposed by the United States of America and the European Union on responding to such needs. To conclude, my delegation appreciates the flexibility of the delegation of the Russian Federation to facilitate the adoption of this resolution. We also call for the strict implementation of the contents of this resolution without selectivity, discrimination, or politicization. We look forward to the informal interactive dialogue sessions referred to in the resolution, which would present a platform to review and follow up the implementation of that resolution. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic for his statement. There are no more speakers inscribed on the list.